Phillies keep on rolling 6-2 over the Washington Nationals tonight. We welcome you to Phillies Postgame Live, presented by our friends at Cure Auto Insurance. Ben Davis, I'm Michael Barkan. Ben and Michael, and we're going to go back to the clubhouse as well for interviews, more analysis. When you look at this, you heard what Trey Turner just told Tom and John, which is when we're going on all cylinders, we're scary, got to keep it going. The home runs are starting to come now, and they're really hitting on it, aren't they?
They are, and towards the end of this ball game, the bats, they came alive. And that was exactly what we thought was going to happen throughout the course of this season. It's been taking a little bit longer than we would have liked, but here we are. August 10th, and we're going through it, and it's been fun to watch. That guy that they just interviewed, Trey Turner, he gets it.
Yeah.
He gets it. And he just even his body language seems so much more relaxed. Castellanos is hitting everything in sight. He's driving the ball out left field, right field, center field. It doesn't matter. I love the fact, I know this is a team sport, and I say this all the time, but the better that each individual plays, the better the team plays. That's not rocket science. But JT tonight with 2 for 2 with a couple RBIs tonight, that is a very good sign. The Phillies need him. And he has been kind of dormant offensively. We know what he can do defensively, obviously. But for the fact that he got it going a little bit tonight, that is a very good sign for the Phillies backstop and the offense as a whole.
Let's go across the street once again and join John Kruk, call tonight's game with Tom McCarthy. John, when you look at this Phillies team, since June 3rd, they have been tearing it up, save a 13-game stretch from the beginning to end of July when they went 5-8. You throw that out, and they're as good as any team in baseball. I tore it up in June and July, a little speed bump, and it looks like they're hitting on all cylinders again. Would you agree?
Yeah, and if they didn't dig themselves a hole, you would have to think that they would be pushing the Braves right now for the first place in the division. And this is, we asked Trey about that, we thought this is what this offense was going to be from the get-go. It didn't happen early, but no better time than right now because, they, like you said, they played a big stretch of games this homestand. They've done what they had to do, and they have 3 more left against Minnesota. And, if they keep swinging the bats like this, man, they're going to be a whole heck of a lot of trouble to a lot of teams until the end of this season. When all those guys are clicking, and I don't care who's pitching, they got a chance to put up a lot of crooked numbers against anyone who pitches against them.
Johnny, staying with JT, I had heard you pay one of probably the biggest compliments you could pay anybody, and you likened him to Dutch Dalton, and I think it's rightfully so. Dutch still needed a day off every now and again. We've seen this with JT. If he gets a day off, he seems to really take to that day off, and he has a lot more success a couple that day afterwards and a couple days after that even more. Do you think it's necessary? I know Dutch wanted to play every day. I know JT wants to play every day. But being a catcher, it's a different animal.
Yeah, I tell you what, man, I used to get to the ballpark early. Dutch would be there or just right after me when we got there, and he looked at the board and he saw he wasn't in. He wasn't a happy camper. It didn't matter how many games he caught in a row. And JT's the same way. They want to be there. They want to be out there every single day because, look, I don't know who captains are on teams, who's this or that, but, they run the field. And, nothing starts until they get going, behind the plate. But, I liken him to Darren just for that reason. They're tough as nails. They take a beat behind the plate like most catchers do. But it seems like, how many times can you get a hit in the hand? But then you're expected to be an offensive player also. And that's the way Darren was. Darren took a pounding behind home plate, but yet we counted on him to be a big part of our offense. And the same way with JT. And when JT's going good, you hate to take him out of the lineup, but you understand that, because of the catcher position, he has to have some time off from behind the plate to keep him fresh for the rest of August and into September.
And when he does take time off, John, Garrett Stubbs fits the bill admirably. He really does.
If he does have to miss tomorrow, he should be back before the weekend's over, I would think, knowing Bryce. But now when you hear the word spasm, you think, okay, hopefully they can control this thing and get his back to loosen up a little bit so we can see him in there against the old Twins tomorrow.
I hope so. And lastly, Aaron Nola, he lost his prior 2 starts going into tonight's game. He gives up just 1 earned run, but he's 100-plus pitches and 5 innings pitched. He has not seemed to be the guy he has been this season. What do you make of Aaron Nola and what he will be going forward, especially as playoffs end up looming?
Well, look, we got a month and 3/4 left to go in the regular season, so let's just worry about, 6 days, 7 days from now, when he gets another chance to pitch. But look, it was a struggle tonight for Aaron, like it was for Patrick Corbin. It just, both pitchers had to battle and try to get through 5 innings. Aaron was up, over 100 pitches going into the 6th. So, you understand why Rob Thomson took him out. But, look, when you battle like he did and you've only given up 1 run, I think that says a lot about Aaron. But, listen, if the Phillies are going to make a run, and they're going to make a run in October like they did last year, they're going to need Aaron Nola to be better than Aaron Nola has been. And I firmly believe in the man. I love him to death. He's a great human being, and I think he's going to figure this thing out. And hopefully in another week or 2, we're not even discussing what's wrong with Aaron Nola anymore.
I hope not. I hope not, John. Finally, I know I said finally twice, but I got to get your thoughts on the. Since we have you there, don't go anywhere. I'll come across the street, I swear. Your thoughts on Alumni Weekend and how special this weekend has become to you.
It means the world. Just the fact that, we're going to be honored on the field for something that we did 30 years ago. But it's a little bit, I don't know the right word, but, it just brings back memories of all the guys from that 93 team, from, our general manager, Lee Thomas, to our manager, Jim Fregosi, 3 of our coaches, and Darren and David West and Kim Batiste, and it just brings back memories. Larry Anderson and I were talking about it today, how much we're going to enjoy the weekend, getting to see our old teammates, but how sad it is too that some of the main cogs of our team and aren't here anymore with us, and that part of it sucks. But we'll have a toast to them, I'm sure, at the hotel this weekend, and then we'll go about having fun like we always used to.
Johnny, I know you're tied to the history of sports in Philadelphia, and you may recall the late, great Fred Shiro, who was the head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers just before they won their first Stanley Cup in 1974. He called the guys around and he said, fellas, let me tell you something. You win today, you walk together forever. And you guys did in 1993, and they did in 1983, and you have walked together in life, just like in baseball, forever. And it's been a beautiful thing to watch. I'm so happy for you coming up
thank you, Michael,
for this weekend. You know it, my friend. We'll chat with you tomorrow.
Trying to make up for those 2 last questions.
Wait, just one more, John. Pull off the headsets. Throw them down.
One more.
John, we have to go. Stop, please. Come on,
Ben,
John.
Ben, go back to the Vans, Ben. Get rid of those ugly things you have on today.
These are busting.
Yeah, they're tight.
Believe me.
They should be tight in the garbage can.
All right, there he goes. John Kruk, the great. And he's going to celebrate. Take a look at this. Speaking of great, Phillies a 1.5 games up on the San Francisco Giants, and the Giants will be coming in soon. 64-52 are the Phils. The Giants a 1.5 games back, and there are the Miami Marlins in that final spot. They've been jockeying back and forth. The Phillies have won 2 straight, 5 of 6, 11 of 16, and they are 5-2 on this homestand. And I don't want to hear about playing Washington and playing Kansas City. You can only play, you can play. We expected this. We projected this. They, for the most part, took care of business against Washington, and now they got to keep going against Minnesota.
They do have to keep going against Minnesota. And I was on the radio last week, and we were on the trade deadline, August 1st. And, the morning team on WIP asked me, what are they going to do? Are they going to go out and are they going to get Goldschmidt? Are they going to get Arenado? Are they going to get a big-name pitcher? What are they going to do? Well, Dave Dombrowski goes out and gets 2 guys. He gets, obviously, Lorenzen and Castro. And you're thinking, well, that's all he did. and I said, what would be the best thing for this ball club? I said, addition by production. And I said,
that's what they've done.
That's all they've done. The big guys are stepping up. We asked them to step up. They are stepping up. It's like they have a whole different ball club. It's like they just got these players traded to the ball club. And this is production, addition by production. That's exactly what this is right now. It's nice to see these big name guys kind of coming out of their shell and just starting to really produce.
Yeah.
And they are producing. And it's been consistent. It's the approach. It's how they're pitching. It's everything combined. And that's a good sign, Michael.
It's awesome. By the way, you talked about the bling as we went to break. Before we get to Rob Thomson, what do you have there on your finger there, Ben?
Well,
can you lift your hand?
I would love to thank John Middleton and the ownership group for going out and getting us this spectacular 2022 National League Championship ring. It is breathtaking. And I just wanted to thank the ownership group. John, this is absolutely breathtaking, and we appreciate it very much.
That's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. It's a bit heavy. I will say it's a bit heavy.
And he's a strong lad. He can barely lift his hand. Absolutely amazing. You know who else has one of those rings? Rob Thomson. Here he is on tonight's win.
I'm okay. I'll be in there tomorrow.
Yeah, how's Bryce?
It's just day to day. We'll check him out tomorrow, see if he's okay. Not sure.
Shaking his arm after like a pickoff attempt. Did he complain after that? Or?
It's his back, so it's back spasm. So I didn't see him shake his arm, but that's what it is.
Well, you're not sure. Do you think it happened on that play where he didn't necessarily feel the ball?
I don't know. I don't know where it happened. I just was told by the train, and they didn't get. He doesn't know where it happened. I don't think, because they came up between innings and told me he'd stiffened up, and I said, "Well, that's it then."
Are Stott and JT okay?
Stott should be fine. We'll check JT tomorrow, but he's a pretty tough guy.
How different is the feel when you guys are just hitting way more home runs, especially with runners on base? It seems like it changes a lot for you.
It really does. I mean, that's where you score multiple runs, and we weren't doing that earlier in the year, but it's in there because, that's the history of these guys. So it's good to see that it's finally happening. It's good to see guys are hitting opposite field home runs, because that means you're staying on the ball and you're not trying to do too much. And when you try to do a little bit less, sometimes more happens.
How would you kind of sum up Turner's week, last Friday?
Incredible, he looks like, Trey Turner, and that's good.
Well, do you think this, all this positivity around him, you think you can almost give a guy like a second wind at this point in the season?
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, I think you're seeing it with him, and I think it's helped, and it's helped the entire club really, kind of rallied around it.
What'd you make of Nola? He only gave up the one run, but threw a lot of pitches.
He did. There was some 3-2 counts, and they didn't chase a whole lot off him, but I thought his stuff was good. I thought his curveball was good. I thought he was more in control tonight. 5 hits in 5 innings, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, and that's why I sent him back out in the 6th just to try and he handled Meneses and Ruiz pretty well all night. So and really those two hits weren't hit all that hard. They got kind of jammed up, I think, but I thought he was a lot better tonight.
He's really had a crazy turnaround too in the past week plus. What do you like most about what you've seen from him?
Well, for the most part, he's using the middle of the diamond. I mean, the first 3 at bats tonight, he didn't, and then finally with the home run, he hit it to left center and used the field, and that's where his strength is. When he drives the ball to right field, he's letting the ball travel. He's strong, so he's got enough power to drive it that way, and that's when he's a good hitter.
With you guys hitting more home runs, how important do you think that is to long-term success for this team this season?
Big time, yeah. 'Cause that's really who these guys are. They're a slug team, and you're seeing it now. I hope it keeps up.
Why do the home runs come in bunches? Sometimes it's feast or famine with you guys.
I can't answer that question. I really can't. It's just the way it is. It's like hitting with runners in scoring position and slumps and getting hot. I mean, it comes and goes, but I can't explain it.
On a much lighter topic, now that it's been around for a few games, what do you think of the updated Craig Kimbrell intro into the game with the lights and?
Well, it's fine, but usually about that time I'm writing, and then I can't see what I'm writing. So, but it's fine, whatever it takes for him to be successful. Just on my card, because he's coming in.